Many people say this story really happened. No one knows every detail for certain, and some parts have changed over time. But the people who lived in the small village of Hatherfield still remember the old house on Oak Lane. Even today, most of them avoid walking past it after dark. In 1998, a young couple named David and Lavra moved into the house. They had been married for only a year and wanted a quiet place to start their new life. The house was old but beautiful. It had a large garden, wooden floors, and a fireplace in the living room. The price was surprisingly low, but they thought they had simply found a good deal. For the first 2 weeks, everything seemed normal. David worked as an electrician, and Lavra taught at a local primary school. Every evening they ate dinner together, watched television, and enjoyed the peaceful countryside. They believed they had found the perfect home. Then, one Friday night, Lavra woke up suddenly. She heard slow footsteps walking across the hallway upstairs. Step, step. She looked at the clock. It was 2:17 in the morning. She gently woke David. "Can you hear that?" David listened for a few seconds. "Nothing. You probably dreamed it," he said before falling asleep again. Lavra was not convinced. The next night, she heard the same footsteps. This time, David heard them too. The sound moved slowly from one end of the hallway to the other. Step, step. David grabbed a flashlight and walked upstairs. Every room was empty. Every window was locked. No one was there. They searched the entire house but found nothing. The footsteps stopped as soon as David reached the hallway. The following week, strange things continued to happen. Kitchen chairs were sometimes in different places in the morning. Doors that had been closed were found open. A family photograph repeatedly fell from the wall, even after David hung it again. They blamed the old house. Old houses make strange noises, they told themselves. One rainy evening, their elderly neighbor, Mrs. Collins, visited for tea. Lavra casually mentioned the footsteps. Mrs. Collins became unusually quiet. Finally, she asked, "Has it started walking every night now?" Lavra looked surprised. "What do you mean?" The old woman sighed. "The family before you heard them too." David frowned. "The owner never told us that." Mrs. Collins nodded slowly. "He doesn't usually." She explained that several families had lived in the house over the years. None stayed very long. Most complained about footsteps that came from empty rooms. Others spoke about hearing someone softly knocking on bedroom doors after midnight. Some even claimed they saw a man standing at the top of the stairs. Mrs. Collins had never seen anything herself, but she had heard the stories for decades. David still believed there had to be a logical explanation. He decided to prove it. The next Saturday, he installed small motion sensors in the upstairs hallway. That night, the footsteps returned. Step, step. David and Lavra stayed in their bedroom. Neither dared to open the door. The next morning, David checked the camera. The hallway looked completely empty. No person appeared, yet the microphone clearly recorded the footsteps. Even stranger, the motion sensor activated 3 different times during the night. Something had moved through the hallway, but nothing could be seen. David stopped laughing about the stories after that. Days later, Lavra found an old wooden box while cleaning the attic. Inside were faded letters, newspaper cuttings, and a black and white photograph. The letters belonged to the first family who had lived in the house nearly 70 years earlier. One letter caught Laura's attention. It read, "The footsteps return every night. They always stop outside our bedroom. Whoever walks these halls never opens the door." Lavra felt cold reading those words. The letter had been written many years before she and David moved into the house, yet it described exactly what they were experiencing. David took the letters to the village library. A local historian helped him search old newspaper records. They discovered that during the 1930s, the owner of the house had died, suddenly after falling down the staircase. During the night, neighbors reported hearing footsteps shortly before the accident. No one ever discovered why he had been walking upstairs at that hour. Some believed he was checking on a strange noise. Others believed he was following someone who was never found. The mystery remained unsolved. After learning this, David and Lara became increasingly uncomfortable. The footsteps continued almost every night. Sometimes they lasted only a few seconds. Sometimes they continued for several minutes. Yet every time they opened the bedroom door, the hallway was empty. One winter night, the power suddenly went out. The entire house became silent. Then the footsteps began again, slowly, closer than ever before. Step, step, step. This time they did not remain upstairs. They stopped directly outside the bedroom door. David and Lara held their breath. A soft knock echoed through the room. 3 slow knocks. Knock, knock, knock. Neither of them moved. Several minutes passed. Finally, the footsteps slowly walked away. The next morning, they found nothing unusual outside the bedroom. No footprints, no broken windows, no sign that anyone had entered the house. A month later, David and Lara decided to move. They never experienced anything unusual again after leaving Oak Lane. Years later, another family rented the same house. According to several neighbors, they also moved away within a year. No official investigation ever found evidence of intruders or criminal activity. Experts suggested the sounds might have been caused by the old wooden structure expanding and shrinking with changes in temperature. Others believed stress and expectation could have influenced what the families experienced. Yet one question has never been fully answered. How did different families, living decades apart, describe the same footsteps, stopping at the same bedroom door, without knowing each other's stories? Today, the house still stands quietly at the end of Oak Lane. Most days, it looks like any other old country home. People drive past it without a second thought. But the older villagers still give one piece of advice to anyone thinking of living there. If you hear footsteps in the hallway after midnight, they say, don't open the bedroom door. Whether the story is entirely true or not is impossible to prove. But in Hatherfield, many people still believe that some mysteries are never meant to be solved, only remembered.